basically I was like kind of like a mid-level band artist within like, goth adjacent like darkwave
Hmm.
music. But yeah, after that song popped, I just got all these new like listeners and new fans, people that stuck around to like the old stuff and they discovered the old stuff.
Yeah, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's up? Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I appreciate it. I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music. And we'll talk about you put out a original song, and we'll talk about the big viral moment you had and all that fun stuff. That's cool.
Sounds good.
Killer, man. So first off, where were you born and raised?
Right here in LA.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah.
What part of Los
Uh,
Angeles?
I was born and raised in a little neighborhood called Mar Vista, which is on the west side.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Familiar with the area a little bit. I'm from San Diego originally, but
Cool.
recently moved to Nashville. But that's awesome. So born and raised in LA.
Yeah. I'm one of the few rare people in LA actually born in LA.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you come from a musical household at all?
Not really. My mom was a what do you call it, manicurist,
Okay.
and my dad was kind of like handyman and like worked for like a building management company, and he like hustled cars and like, different things.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, I don't know how I fell into music. I guess I just met a couple kids in like elementary school whose like parents were musicians, and I hung out with them and kind of picked it up from there. But
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
not a whole lot of artists in my family. Just like people doing like random odd jobs. You know?
Sure. Not like somebody that's full into music industry stuff.
No, yeah.
Rad. So what about as far as like an instrument, or how did you start aside from meeting these kids in elementary school?
Yeah, so I met my friend Scott. His dad was like in metal bands and stuff, and he taught me guitar. And so I played guitar for a few years until I was in middle school, and then I picked up the upright bass.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and then played that through middle school, high school, and yeah, those were kind of the instruments I can play. I haven't played bass in like 10 years, so can't really play that anymore.
Did you
Or
play
I
like
don't
in a
think I
band upright bass, like rockabilly or something like
no. That's so funny, bro.
that? That's the first
No,
thing I think of when I think of an upright
I
bass.
know, right? Yeah, it has that connotation now, which is like crazy. But no, I played an orchestra in like jazz band and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
Oh, rad. So, but you learned guitar even before you got into middle school. Is that
yeah,
what you said? Wow.
um, yeah. In elementary school, we just play. I don't know, just random metal riffs. We try to learn all the random metal riffs and stuff. Um, and yeah, so I played that for a year before I played the upright bass. And yeah, because I got into orchestra and I was like, what the hell do I play? I don't want all these like instruments look lame as hell.
You can cut.
And bass, yeah, bass was the only thing that could like relate to the music I was listening to. So I was like, all right, let me just play this. But it's paid off because like now I feel like I'm a little better versed at writing bass lines and things like that, and like knowing the scales.
Yeah, and like kind of the rhythm of the whole song, right, is all driven through
Mm-hmm.
the bass and the drums.
100%.
Yeah. With you were interested in the orchestra. I mean, it sounds like you wanted to join the orchestra, but you didn't know really what you wanted to play, so you went with the upright bass, or was it something you were kind of your parents were like, you need to be in the band, or was it just something you were interested in and you decided on? I guess this
I
is the coolest instrument.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of how my 10-year-old brain worked. I was like, what can I play or what can I learn that's like closest to like rock music? And it was that. But I back then I didn't really appreciate any of the music we were playing in the orchestra. Um, there's it's like it's all classical music, and back then I
Right.
didn't want that stuff at all.
But
Um,
jazz, you played in jazz bands too?
yeah, I think I played guitar in jazz band. I was complete dog shit
Wow.
though. I sucked so bad. I mean, ever back then everyone sucks. It's funny, like I don't know if you ever watched like a middle school band or whatever. Like it's
Oh
just
yeah.
so
I have a son
unlistenable.
that just got
Yeah.
out of middle school and one that's in elementary school. So I'm thinking like, wow, like to play guitar in elementary school. I don't know how many kids are doing that at his elementary
No,
school.
because your hands are tiny. It's like you can't
Right.
even reach. You can't even make chords, and you have no strength in your hands. So it's just like everything sounds horrible.
Yeah, especially if
But
you're
it's
trying to play an acoustic guitar. It's like, ugh. I mean, I guess they make better ones now than they did when I was growing up, but
Yeah, I
Jack.
remember all like the rich kids had like the little baby guitars, like the ones made for kids.
Yeah.
But everyone else was just slumming it on like these full size guitars, and no one could play because it hurt. My hands
Right.
hurt all the time back then. Yeah.
That's funny. Well, what about like playing in a band or anything outside of the orchestra or anything like that through middle school or high school?
Yeah, we had like a little middle school band. We played like Pixies covers, and we like wrote our own like songs. Again, everything was really bad, and we would like press CDs, and we'd print like the little like CD covers, and we'd sell them at school for like $3-4.
Oh, that's
And I
awesome.
remember we sold like $60 worth, and that was like big money back then. We were like, we couldn't believe it. The band was called Deep Fried Caviar, just like really shitty music. um, but we played at Battle of the Bands in middle school. That was really fun, and that was like my first taste of like clout
Oh
in
yeah.
it was like after that Battle of the Bands, everyone started treating me a little differently. It was nice.
Oh, like,
Got a
oh,
little
he's
taste
the
of,
rock star.
yeah, I got a taste of that early.
Were you singing for that band, or what was
No,
your role in the band?
no, I played guitar. It was a little
Okay.
4-piece. So I played guitar. We had a bass player, drummer, and then my friend Adam was our vocalist.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think he was the only one who had hit puberty. So like he was the only one who could sing and didn't
Okay.
sound like
Like a
absolutely
chip,
horrible.
yeah, like chipmunks or
He had
something
a
like that.
he had a man voice. It was like three kids, three little boys, and like a man. It was the weirdest setup.
Do you still have any of those recordings?
Yeah, they're like I have like 3 or 4 CDs left, and they're like somewhere stashed away. Like I think my parents have one. And yeah, I
That's
think I'll
cool.
upload it one day just for the hell of it
Right, or
on
just,
Spotify and stuff.
maybe in 20 years you'll be like, oh wow, look around, this is cool. Like we kind of started off here, and now I'm here.
Yeah, no, it's fun to have those little memories. Yeah, it's fun when kids are making music. It's always like cute. You know,
Right, of course. That's
yeah.
cool. Did you go to like school for music out after high school, or like what was the next kind of
No,
journey for you?
I I think I abandoned music in like 11th grade or something, and I didn't start writing music or like playing music until like a year after high school. So like I was really trying to just have like a normal like career path. So I think I became like a business major or an econ major, something like that. Um, and then I was like really into like electronic music and like electronic music production, things like that. I was like trying to make house music at one point,
Oh,
which I
okay.
think when people start producing, when they start trying to learn how to produce music, they go like either like the trap rap route or like the EDM and house route.
Sure, sure.
And then from there, once you like learn the basics, then you can kind of go into whatever lane you want.
Mhm.
Um, so I did that for a couple of years, and then that's when I started developing my own style. But no, I didn't go to school for anything music related. I wanted to, but like my parents didn't support it, so I kind of compromised and I became like a film major. Um,
Oh,
but
cool.
yeah, but I wouldn't go to class. I would just like I found out which movies I need to watch and write essays on, and then I just stay at home and just write music all day. So I cheated the system.
Yeah, but you were always still like pursuing music, kind of just like here, appease your family with
Yeah,
that career path, and then always kind of being working on music on the side.
yeah.
Silly the side, I
I
guess more.
knew I always knew what I right. I always knew
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. And so I just had to kind of like sell this lie to everyone else to get away with it. But yeah, it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, for sure. Once you were making like different beats and started to kind of curate your own songs, like what was the first? Were you just putting them up online and seeing what would happen from there?
Yeah. I did the thing which everyone does, which is like make these horrible. You make like in the beginning, everything you make is just unlistenable. It's like it's kind of music, but not really. It's just hard to listen to, and it's hard to listen to when you're making it, and you're just like it's just. But every time you get a little closer to making an actual song, so I would just like make these horrible songs, send them to my friends or family, whatever, to listen to, and of course, everyone like is nice to you in the beginning, says, yeah, great, sounds great. So after like 2 years of doing that, I kind of started making actual songs, and then I would put those on SoundCloud and YouTube and stuff like that. And yeah, they started getting responses and stuff, and people would share them. I'd find them on like Tumblr or like random blogs and stuff like that. Wow. So then I figured like, okay, if people are posting about it and I'm not posting about it, then there's probably something there. So I just kept working on it, made more musician friends back then, started hanging out with a bunch of like hip hop artists, making beats for them. And then just practicing, just making like, I don't know, dozens of songs a week, but they're all, they're all still bad. And then at one point I had like a decent amount of songs to put into an EP, and I have a old EP on my Spotify. It's called Decade. It's like 4 songs, and they're all like bedroom pop, synth pop type of songs. But yeah, just kept doing that.
Was that first EP kind of the first thing that you were like, okay, this is kind of my like artist project here? Or yeah. Okay.
It was it was like the first time I had like a little cohesive like group of work, and I felt comfortable putting it out, and I made like a little album cover type thing, and that got some traction on like small blogs and stuff. And I always thought it was really...
I was gonna say, I mean, it takes that little validation though. I mean, right? I mean, just to see your music on before you put the EP out, just like seeing it on other blogs or other people sharing it, it was probably like, oh, like I should keep going with this, right? I mean, if no one cared and you're like looking at like 3 streams, and at what point maybe you'd be like, maybe I'll just focus more on the film thing, or maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking like out loud, like it probably takes some of those little small victories to reignite oh shit, I need to keep doing this. Like, this is rad.
Yeah, I think I needed to hear from a few friends like, oh wow, this is actually good, before I like put out something like that. And then at some point I was like, okay, this actually sounds like music. I feel like you got to have like a little you got to be self-aware enough to know when something's good, but you can't be like too self-conscious. Like, I had a lot of friends who had great music that they were making, and like it just lived on their hard drive forever, and still to this day, just like they never put it out, whatever. So I think you can't go too far in either direction. But those songs that I made back then, like a few of them are like one of my like top songs that are played today. So like,
I was gonna say those songs have, a few of them have over 3.5 million plays.
Yeah,
nearly. I mean, all of them have a ton of streams. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like surprising because even till like last year, I don't think I didn't even upload those songs on Spotify up until like 2021 or something like that, 2020. Wow. But I just thought they're horrible. Like I couldn't listen to them. I still to this day I can't, honestly. They're like, I sound like a little boy on them, and the lyrics are like so like, I don't know, they're just too literal for me, where like I cringe if I listen to them. I understand why other people would like them, and I think like they are good songs. I just can't listen to them because they're just like, I don't know, from this like sappy little boy period of my life. But I thought they were bad, but people love them, and
that's cool.
It kind of changed my brain chemistry after that. I was like, okay, I don't always know what's best or what people are gonna like. So now I just like let everyone else decide.
Was there like, I mean, you said you didn't put them up until like a couple of years ago. Was there like, did you just say? So you must have had other stuff on Spotify at that point, or no? Or is that like, oh, let's just go to Spotify? Like,
I had newer stuff.
Newer stuff. What gave you the urge to put the old one up?
Just people asking for it.
Okay.
Like, seeing comments on YouTube, like, why isn't this on like streaming services or whatever, or getting messages from people on Instagram asking for it. So I just just eventually put up, and I'm glad I did, because like now like those songs like pay for like my rent, like my car note, my groceries, all that stuff. So it's like, just from a everyday day-to-day type of thing, it's totally worth putting those up. But Yeah, but also helps kind of guide in terms of like which songs we want as like singles for like the new the new album. Um it like seeing which songs people responded to the most like kind of is guiding our strategy now for like marketing or my new album. So I'm super glad I put it out, and I'm happy I'm not like self-conscious like that anymore.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is like, I mean, if you're just making more like beats and stuff, was that what you were sending to your friends early on? And then to put your voice on something is just such a different level of, you know, vulnerability.
Yeah, I always thought that people just get bored of just beats, or maybe I was projecting. Maybe I was just bored of beats.
Uh-huh.
I knew I had to sing, or there had to be something else to the songs to, make them more dynamic and give them like, replay value. So yeah, at some point I tried singing, and I didn't really know how to record vocals or how to write lyrics and stuff. So that's all that stuff I just figured out over time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really glad I did, because if I didn't start singing, I'd probably none of this probably would have moved forward. I probably would have gotten bored a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, it is, it changes stuff, right? Quite a bit. If you can start singing and putting lyrics to stuff, then it's like, oh, it's a recognizable thing that people understand instead of just having it. Here's a bunch of beats, or I would think that maybe you just have to like try to sell them to other people, or I mean, I don't know. There's obviously people doing that and making a career, but
Yeah,
you definitely put yourself above if you put your voice on something and make it more like yours in that sense. But
yeah, and increases the amount of expression you can input onto the song.
sure.
Uh, and I used to hate writing lyrics was like so hard, and I was so afraid of sounding corny, and just writing. There's nothing worse than bad lyrics on a song. It's just like it just destroys so many songs, especially like a lot of like, I don't know, popular music or like top 40 or whatever radio music. A lot of that stuff is just like unlistenable because it's like the lyrics are just, you just start laughing because they're just so bad.
Yeah, you're like,
So that
ugh.
was always a fear of mine. And there's a few songs where I'm like, I just hate those lyrics, but it's okay. Like I feel like I've moved past that, and my writing has gotten a lot better since then.
Yeah. You got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, before you put out the EP, what would you say? Like, was there a song or a moment that kind of really, got your name and your face out there a bit more, um, before going back and a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, putting out your EP, but or the old EP? Like, was there a song that you'd put out in that time span between that really kind of changed stuff for you?
You mean from that first EP to the last one I put out, like in
Yeah,
between
yeah,
those?
in between that time period in between, because that would have been before you went back and added your old EP to Spotify.
I guess it was The Perfect Girl. Like even
Okay.
before it blew up, like in the last 2 years blew up.
Uh-huh.
Um, that was the first song that kind of pushed me, or like pushed my name around blogs, and like I was getting like shared on, back then it was like Facebook and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, that was it. I remember, yeah, just like when I put that song out on SoundCloud, like I just got so many like great responses, and people were like, whoa, like this is a huge track or whatever. Um, and I knew I had like something special, but I still didn't believe it. And maybe it was just like right song, wrong time, because like back then it just didn't resonate as heavily as it did like today.
Right.
But that's the first song where I felt like it pushed me in like, like another level.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
was there like, are you just a huge, I mean, it's a Cure cover. Was there just like was it just a song that you enjoyed? I mean, to pick that one instead of, maybe one of the loves, the
Yeah,
bigger
a
like
bigger.
hits, not that that's not a big one, but like like if you ask somebody on the street, they wouldn't drop that one as like a
Yeah,
Cure song off the top of their head. Like, is it just a song that you connected to and wanted to cover? Are you a big fan of the Cure?
I wish. No, I wish I had a better story. No, the story sucks. It's like I was writing this beat, and I didn't have lyrics for it, and I was just like looking. I was like on A to Z lyrics.com, or like one of those like stupid lyrics websites. And I was just like looking at Cure lyrics for inspiration. Like, all right, how did Robert Smith write? Like, how can I write? Whatever. And I just came across The Perfect Girl. Was just like randomly clicked on one. I didn't even listen to it before. And I just started singing lyrics over it, and just worked really well. So I decided to just make that beat I was making into a Cure cover, even though it had nothing to do with the original song and didn't even sound like the original song. I just decided to do that because I had nothing to lose back then. No one knew who I was. I was like, all right, let me do this for one, because it sounds cool, and two, like people will click on it if they see Cure cover, you know, like for visibility reasons. Piggyback on the Cure's clout, you know. But it paid off.
No, that's cool. That's creative, because if you hadn't heard the song, you don't have this like, you don't really know, okay, he's singing it this way, there it goes this way, you know what I mean? Just to like have the lyrics and totally present it in a totally different, you know, way. That's a really interesting way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird circumstantial thing that happened that created this like huge track later on.
And then I mean, to have it on, like, it has 1 billion views, over 1 billion views, like on TikTok. I mean, did you, when you put it up there, did you know it was, I mean, you obviously knew that the song was special. It had done things on SoundCloud for you prior, but like, that's a totally different market, right? On TikTok. And it's just so level playing field for everybody to kind of, it's like a focus group of people kind of deciding whether something's good or not. But when you put it on there, did it like take off fairly quickly as well when you did that?
No, I mean, it took like 1.5 years, but it was like consistent creates, and you know, I think when it blew up, like a couple days before it blew up, it had like 600 or something creates, which is not a lot, but I kept my eye on it like every single day. I was like, one of these days it's gonna blow up, so I just like kept an eye on it, and eventually it just, I don't know if I just manifested it or what, but it happened, which was super sick. It's like the best feeling when like you were like waiting for something to happen and it happens like that. It was amazing.
I've talked to other people. I think it'd be kind of like the lottery, right? You just keep like refreshing, and you're like, oh shit, it's at this many views. Like I, you know, just like those dopamine hits. Whoa, it's at 100,000. Oh my god, it's at 500,000.
And that definitely ruined my brain too. Like, you know, people do like crazy drugs and then just like upset the like dopamine and serotonin.
It just drained it.
My brain during that time.
That's funny. Not funny, but funny in the sense of like, it's just like I can imagine that being like a lottery rush. Like, oh, I just hit the jackpot. Okay, I just did it again. Like,
no, you're so right. It's basically like winning the lottery. Like, and for artists, musicians, like that's kind of like these days. It's kind of the way you like break through, and that's how it felt. It was just insane.
Yeah. And did that probably drove more people to checking out your, you know, now you have eyes on you, or you get people to come to your page or your Spotify, and then that helps, you know, build your fan base. Then it's like, oh, he's got all these other great songs too. Let me, you know, continue on. But you know, you just grab them with the one.
Yeah. I mean, before that song blew up, I had like 200K monthly listeners on Spotify. Basically, I was like kind of like a mid-level band artist within like kind of like you know, goth adjacent like darkwave music. But after that song popped, I just got all these new like listeners and new fans, people that stuck around to like the old stuff and they discovered the old stuff. So yeah, I would say my audience is so fragmented, which is, to me, it's great. It's like a huge in my fan base. There's people who only listen to The Perfect Girl, and that's totally cool. But then I have people like, you know, kind of like Gen Z TikTok kids, and goths and like old heads, and I just got like so many different kinds of fans. It's like, it's awesome because that just like makes me feel more secure in like what I put out. I can put out music in, you know, a bunch of different styles and still feel confident that they'll resonate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I love the new one that you just put out. That's a great song. And did you have that one, like Night Vision is a song, but like with that, so you had the Cure cover that you put out, but you were always just writing original music all throughout that time period too, it sounds like.
Yeah. The Cure cover, yeah, I mean, that was just like a one-off
deal, right?
Yeah, one off that I probably won't ever. I don't know. I don't really want to do another cover again, just because like I don't want to be a guy associated with like just doing a bunch of
You don't want to
covers.
be the cover guy, right? Right.
No one wants to be the cover guy. But yeah, I mean, I've been writing music consistently since I don't know 2019, 2020, just like trying to put out new stuff. And then once The Perfect Girl took off, I knew I had to like make an album.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I worked on for like a year, and yeah, we haven't officially announced it, but it's coming.
So yeah, so I was gonna ask. So Night Vision is gonna be a part of your album.
Yeah, it's the first track on the album.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about the song. I know the video is killer, and you got
Mhm.
some recognizable people in there.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah. So,
song, yeah, just wanted to write like kind of a slow, like sexy love ballad type thing. Um, that you know, I always like songs like Wicked Game, like Chris Isaac's Wicked
yeah, yeah,
Game, and
yeah.
I always just wanted to write something like that, just like I don't know, just like tugging at the heartstrings, and you know you can play it anytime, and it's got like a classic vibe to it. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't really have too many songs on an album like that, but that to me like that song is like my little statement piece. Where it's like, all right, I know it's not necessarily what the audience wants, but it's something I want. I want to make it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and but yeah, I'm hoping that song's going to be like for my fans, like that's like the little cult favorite, you know. In
Yeah.
the
No, it's different. It's cool. It doesn't have that like kind of eerie feel to it when you listen to
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, and then the just like it, the whole release for that was like so exciting. Like the video is just like killer, just top notch production. You
Uh-huh.
know, really sexy. Just like looks so good. Looks like a movie. Like looks like a Lynch movie from like you know early '90s.
Yeah. No, it totally does.
Yeah,
The just like the
uh,
darkness of the how it's filmed and
the
yeah,
coloring is just
yeah,
it looks.
it's got that greenish like hue to it.
It was so fun being there. It was like I've never been so giddy in my life. Like the whole day, like filming that, I was just like I felt like I don't know. It was like not a whole lot of days I can remember where I'm just like smiling the entire day, but it was so sick. And then that the like atmosphere on set was just like everyone just felt it. Everyone was just like so excited, and we all just felt so good, and like we couldn't believe it. Like watching everything live on the monitors was just like everyone just blown away. And then the performances by you know all the dancers, just like especially like Izzy, like wow, just yeah, it just blew my mind. It was great. I like that was like the first time where I was just like, wow, like I'm doing this thing, you know, like it felt like a big moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a and like you said, it's like a film. I mean, the shot so well, and
Mhm.
just being a part of that, like, I would imagine, like, kind of like what you just said, like, you know, you go from an artist and you have this song do well online in this cover song or whatever, and you know, you're getting these listeners, and then you're a part of this whole production that's like, wow, this is all coming together because of my song that is going to be
Yeah,
released. That's got to be,
yeah,
yeah, like
had
a
that.
big moment.
I was like when I was watching that, I was having flashbacks of like the early days, you know, like putting out these horrible songs on SoundCloud. I was like, wow, you know, how did I get here? It
Yeah.
felt surreal.
And you're playing Coachella too, which is massive, especially
I
probably
don't
for
know.
someone from LA, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Massive for
for the West,
anyone, but to you have you been out there before, like prior and everything else?
yeah, I've been to. I think I went in like 2011, 2012.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, the last time I went, I was like, all right, next time I come here, I need to be like playing it or something. You know, like I can't handle being out. It's crazy. It's I don't know how it is now, but back then it was just like it was just nuts. So many people. Everyone's doing drugs. It was just
Oh
insane.
yeah, it's still the same way, I believe.
Yeah.
I've been a bunch too, but I hadn't been since like a year before the pandemic happened. But it's
Yeah.
interesting how it evolved. I mean, it's become like the biggest, probably one of the biggest festivals there are, right? I mean, it
Mhm.
sells out before the lineups announced. It's such a
Yeah.
like
I don't
thing.
know. Other fest like for the West Coast is definitely the biggest. I know there's like Lollapalooza and like Governor's. I think it's Governor's Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
I
big.
think
Yeah.
those are like the comparable ones, like nationwide. But yeah, I mean, Coachella, it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. When I got that like text from my manager, I was just like, what the hell? We had a feeling it was gonna happen like one of these years or something, but it just happened so fast that yeah, it's crazy.
Do you have anything special planned for it, or just go out and take it in?
Yeah, we're planning something, little surprise type of thing, but still in the works, still figuring it out. But it should happen. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, got a little bit of time left, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's basically next month.
Right. I know, it's wild. I saw that you were playing and I'm like, oh yeah, like, because I moved to Nashville like a year and a half or a little over 2 years ago now. So I like kind of was out of the looking at the Coachella lineup, because when that came out, it was like everyone's waiting around, you get it, and there's like, you got the magnifying glass out trying to see the low line, and like you know what I mean? And then like I've been here, so I was in the pandemic, and it's like, oh yeah, it's April, like Coachella's happening, and I saw that you're on the lineup. Is sweet. That's got to be a huge, accomplishment.
Yeah,
Obviously.
So it's totally surreal, and I don't think I even looked at the lineup for like days. I was just like, I couldn't.
You're on it.
I was like, yeah, I'm on it. That's enough. That's good enough for me.
You get to see your name on that like iconic poster, man. That's huge.
I know. I should probably get a copy of that for myself at some point. But yeah, it's just. Yeah, I mean, it's still surreal, and like I told my bandmates, and like they were they went nuts, and like they had to like they each text me like they had to sit down, like have a beer, because it was too much.
Calm down.
And like people from there, like the places they worked were like coming up to them, be like, "Whoa, dude, what the hell I just saw," and they had like family calling them and stuff, so it was a big deal. Everyone like. About even my sister was like, I got more texts in like the last like day or week that I got like when I got married. So like more people were congratulating her going to Coachella than that, which is nuts. But yeah, felt huge. Still, yeah, super
awesome.
super.
Yeah. That's killer. And dude, thank you so much for taking time today to chat with me. I really appreciate it. No. Yeah, so you got the one song out thus far, and like I guess you said an album coming out as well, so that's exciting, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're announcing that in the next few days, so might as
well. well, it'll be announced by the time I put this out. Then I'll make sure of it.
Out. Keep your eyes out for that. May 5th. But yeah, I got a single on Friday, so that's March 10th. I don't know when this is coming out, but new single "Lovers from the Past" is out.
Oh, cool. Well, tell me about that one real quick, because we'll hold this until that drops. Obviously, it's on Friday.
Yeah, this one's my favorite song on the album. It's like the one I just keep listening to over and over again. Vibe wise, it's pretty close to "The Perfect Girl," so I think people are gonna appreciate it, like it. I already teased it on TikTok, and the first video I put out had like 500,000 views, like a ton of likes and stuff. So people were like asking like, when is it out? When is it out? So I think people are gonna enjoy it. I really like it, and yeah, I'm just excited to put it out on Friday and see what people say and all that stuff. It's already got a ton of creates on TikTok, so I know it's a little more special than the other ones. I think. I don't know. We'll see.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations, and again, I appreciate your time. I have one more quick question for you. I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Oh yeah, just be prepared to do this for like 10 years before anyone notices you. Yeah, just be patient and just practice all the time. Make beats and just delete them or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, be persistent. That's it.